Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little, expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. Get addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited, bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn your back and tell you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table.
Hey, everybody.
Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. Welcome again to the Hood Table. Hey, Harper Sean, one of our Hood Nation members. Thanks for becoming a member to the Hood Table. Appreciate it. Hey, everybody coming on into the chat. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button. Also, make sure if you're not already subscribed to the Hood Table, to subscribe to the Hood Table. Now, welcome everybody into the chat. Welcome all the members. Make sure you share the live out. I appreciate it. We do have a guest today with us. And as you can see from the title of the show, we are now on part 3 of an event that happened about a week ago from today. And we did have several people come on our show and express their feelings and opinions on what was going on, which was an older couple and a younger couple. A black couple and a white couple ended up getting into a feud, into a fight. Physically, the cops were called, somebody went to jail, and both sides are kind of like blaming the other, for harassment and racism and all kind of other stuff. So we have with us another neighbor in the neighborhood who is going to give us some more insight on what's been going on in this neighborhood and what she's experienced and witnessed. So go ahead and introduce yourself for us.
Hi, I'm Nancy. I'm a neighbor.
Hi, Nancy. Nice to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And first off, I want to thank you for coming on to the show and reaching out to me, because what's going on with these neighbors is a lot. And I think it kind of like something's been going on for years, and it kind of just blew up last week. So you let us know, how long have you been living next to the Colemans and the other neighbors on the other side?
We've lived here for about 5 years. Colemans have lived there for about 4 years.
Okay.
The neighbors across the street have lived there for 2 years.
Okay. So basically you've been living around both of them for the last couple of years at least.
Yes.
Okay. And what have you witnessed going on between both parties? I don't know if you want to start with the Colemans or issues you might have had with them.
Well, I can do either one.
Okay.
My granddaughter is friends with the other girl. I don't have a lot of involvement because I've been working.
Okay. So the other girl that got in a fight with the older couple?
I do know them.
Her. Okay.
And we've had discussions about the Coleman, and I've reinforced with both the girls, or all the girls, I've got another granddaughter, that no matter what, they have to try and not react, and they can never start anything.
Okay.
Christina, my granddaughters, I know what they do. I have not observed the other one, so I can't really answer to that.
Okay. Well, just tell us about your experience with the Colemans.
We've been having many, many problems with them. They're very racist. I'm white, obviously. My husband is American Indian. Mm-hmm. They do not like either one. They constantly use racial slurs. One-figured sign language, a lot of cursing, everything. And all we're doing is leaving the house to go to work or school, or we're coming home from work or school.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even have to be here, and they'll call the police that we're doing something wrong. For about a year, they kept calling the Humane Society about our invisible dog.
Oh, so you don't have a dog?
We didn't then, no.
Oh, okay.
But we were constantly getting the police and the Humane Society were here for the invisible dog that was pooping in their yard. And we didn't have a dog. And I kept telling everybody, we do not have a dog. I had a bird, and that was it. About a year ago, my oldest granddaughter did move back with her dog. He's a husky. He's a big butterball.
Okay.
They have hated him on sight. I don't know what they have against animals, honestly. And they have tried to get Jace taken away. They've tried to kill him. They've tried to attack him. John was walking down the sidewalk, and he was, going, "Come here, dog. Come here, dog." I was sitting on my swing. And so the dog sort of took a step towards, he's always on a chain that can no way reach the sidewalk. And so the dog took sort of a step towards him with curiosity, and John pulled a chain out of his pocket and said, "I'm going to kill that so-and-so dog. He's attacking me."
Wow.
No, he's not.
Wow.
One day the officers were here because John and Janice didn't, I don't remember what it was they did that day, but the officers were here and they were saying hi to Jace and everything. And the Colemans wouldn't come out at first. They finally did. We found out later they didn't come out because they were busy calling the Humane Society and telling them that our dog was up and down the street attacking people and killing them, and there was blood everywhere. He was still on his chain. The officers were playing with him. They're on a first name basis. They're out there so much, them and the Humane Society.
Yeah, I heard the officers that routinely come out are generally the same ones because they're familiar.
We get new ones, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the Humane Society came out?
Well, that time, no. My husband and I had just left when the Humane Society came. So the girls called me, and I got a hold of the Humane Society. And, well, I guess they did come out, yes, but they went right away because they saw that there's nothing going on. But I called right away and sort of chewed out the Humane Society because they kept promising they would not respond to that kind of stuff because they were getting tired of it. And so was I, but it wasn't my fault. I wasn't calling them.
Now, let me ask you this real quick. I have heard from other people because people just been reaching out to me because they want to voice their side of what's going on. And a lot of stuff is like totally opposite of what was originally told to us on our show. So I'm allowing people to say, I'm allowing people to defend themselves or, but somebody had mentioned that the couple might have, mental issues. Do you?
That's I heard. I just heard that this week. When I filled out my harassment orders, for applying for them, they asked that question if there's drugs, alcohol, or mental issues, and I have to answer honestly, I don't know.
Well, I was just wondering because one of the people who reached out to me said that every time the cops are called, the cops would tell them, just try to ignore them. They're unstable or and see, I don't know this to be true. I don't know that couple, but I just had to ask because that's what I've heard several times.
Yeah. Every time they come here, they've never said anything about mental issues. What they have said is try to ignore them, move. A couple of them have said park our vehicles, on another street because they've been damaged, which we refused. We had to get security cameras to keep an eye on them. But, alcohol, there's alcohol bottles have been thrown in our yard, from where it'd be a really good shot to hit from the sidewalk. But we just cleaned it up. I don't know. Something's really strange going on. If it isn't mental problems or if it is, she needs to be evaluated and treated. If it's alcohol, she needs to be evaluated and treated. I don't know.
Well, see,
I've been never told.
what's so weird? I mean, I don't know what to call it, but the original person that we interviewed, who was the daughter of the older couple who got in a fight with the younger white couple, she had accused them of being racist and throwing racist terms and calling them the N-word and all this, and this been going on for years, and the police been out over and over and over and over and over again for Cassie. Now you're telling me that you believe the Colemans, the black couple, is the ones who are racist.
And they are. They don't like us because I'm white, and they've told us. My husband's American Indian. The people on the other side were Hispanic. They hated them. They moved. The nice little lady across the street, she's black and white. She calls biracial. Very nice lady. They harassed her enough. She moved. Her family moved her out.
So other neighbors have moved because of them, and then the police told y'all to move.
That what?
So the neighbors, some of the neighbors have moved because of them.
Have moved, yes.
And the police also told y'all to move.
Yeah, because they just won't do anything. We've got on video of them doing multiple things and multiple recordings of the racist things and the verbal abuse of the girls and myself, and it's just like, okay.
And
even with the order of harassment, they would not do anything to tell them to stop.
And see, that's what's very concerning, because regardless who's harassing who, like even if it was the younger couple harassing the Colemans or the Coleman, either or, it's very concerning that this has been going on for years. This is why this story is really.
And I keep telling the officers it's accelerating. Somebody's going to get hurt bad. But then I hear, well, if somebody's hurt bad or dies, then we can do something. I don't want it to be.
That didn't seem right. That don't seem right. When the fight happened, we've been fighting this. Yeah, because when the fight happened, the older black man ended up going to jail, and it was kind of confusing because although 4 people were fighting, he was the one who went to jail. They claimed they were attacked, and the younger white couple claims that the older black couple attacked them. So it's like everything's like totally contradicting, and it's like I don't want to I'm not the one to pick sides, or I'm trying to be very not I don't want to be biased or anything like that. I'm just allowing people to tell their side of the story, and it's so it's like, okay,
it's very confusing.
You said they're doing this, what's really going on? And that's why when somebody said I should reach out to the neighbor who has a restraining order, I said, well, I wonder if they would want to talk to me. And then before you knew it, you reached out to me saying you was the neighbor. So I'm like, oh, well, that just worked perfect.
Yeah, and it's very frightening to do this because I know they're going to get even. And because this is a pattern, I did file for another order of protection today. I don't know if it'll be accepted until at least tomorrow.
So did you file the first restraining order or the first protection order?
That was 2018. 2019 was the second one, and then today.
So this will be 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I did 4, but the first one they said they weren't violent enough. So they wouldn't let us have the order.
Okay. Now, I just want everybody to know that Nancy did express her feelings, how it's kind of scary to come on the show because she thinks they might get upset. And I did tell her ahead of time, if you don't feel comfortable, please, I said, please don't come on the show. I don't want nobody come on my show that don't want to, because I don't work like that. So
I felt that it needed to be said. We've been here for a lot of years, and we have video and harassment orders and every evidence. That if you want to see it, you can see it.
Well, I know somebody sent me
it needs to stop.
Somebody sent me a video the other day of another angle from the fight, and I was like, man, I don't know who
They were hitting.
I was like, dang, they really out there fighting.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, our security camera, it's directed on our vehicles because those are what keeps getting damaged. And, for the protection. And so we just got a little bit of the corner. It's not real clear because of the sun. If you know what the person is wearing, you can tell who is doing what. Where a person, well, do you want me to tell you what we saw?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
A person went up to the front of the car and then went to the back. And then another person came around the front, and then it got sort of a free-for-all. That's when apparently the fight started.
Okay,
and we also
went to the back of the car. That would have been John.
John coming up to the back of the car and hitting it. And then
you did witness him hit the car? You witnessed him hitting the car?
It looks like he's bringing his arms down. I'm assuming it's hitting. Like I said, it's not real clear because of the sun.
Okay.
But you can still see the activity. And then around to the front, I did see the pictures of the meat hooks he had in his both his hands. And then the fight started. I have no idea what happened to them. I saw the fight, going on, but I don't know where they ended up. After the mother, we saw where she pulled Janice off of the daughter because she was pinned on top of everybody. And then Janice jumped on top and was beating up on the boyfriend who was on top of John. And then the mother came over and pulled Janice off so that the boy could get away.
Yeah, I saw that. That's the video that somebody sent me. I just couldn't believe they were throwing down like that. But I know you had mentioned that the police had told you should move, and I had even asked.
And they say ignore it. Don't let them get you. Ignore it. All sorts of ideas of don't answer back. Well, if you don't answer back, they get madder and they start even doing more. So that doesn't work. All I have to do is open the door to my car or open the door to my house, and it starts.
Oh, somebody got a question for you. But what I was going to say, then I'm going to read her question. Hey, Melissa. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I had, when I was interviewing the Black couple's daughter, the first part 1, I had mentioned to her, have your parents ever thought about moving? And it wasn't because I'm like, well, just move, because me personally, I had issues with neighbors before. And so I know sometimes things can go crazy and don't nobody want to move and leave their house. So that's what I just wanted to mention, that I had asked them as well, would they move? And they said no. So it's kind of like the same feeling that you have where you're like, I'm not moving here. You just
I would be willing to. But right now we can't afford it. My husband was very sick last year and almost died. The Colemans came out and laughed at him when he collapsed in the front yard. That was very hurtful. And that if anybody falls down, you should break your neck. Why don't you just die? That's not how you treat people.
Wow.
And I got called at work and I was crying when I heard this. How do you do that to a person, to another human being? He almost died. And that was wrong. And then after a month in the hospital, he comes home and then they yell, oh, you were faking it.
Oh, wow.
No.
He didn't suffer any serious injuries, did he? Is he okay now?
He's okay now. His gallbladder went bad and infected his pancreas, which ended up having a severe abscess and sepsis.
Okay.
And he is diabetic, and his diabetic number was 704 when I took him in, and he was still very. And his blood pressure was over 200, over 150.
Oh wow, he
was near stroke. He was very, very ill.
Yeah. It's a blessing he's still here.
Yes, we were very, very happy. It took him quite a while to recover, but he is going back to work now.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Mhm.
I want to ask you a question. Somebody has a question in the chat. They said, so Nancy has been living there 1 year longer than the Colemans. Actually, yeah, because the Coleman said they've been there about 4 years, and
Right.
you've been there about 5 years. So they said,
Uh-huh.
was their behavior like this from the beginning when the
Yes.
Coleman first moved? It was
Yes.
okay.
Not
So
as mean. Not we'd go hi and they'd just scowl at us, and so it
mhm,
was milder, I guess you'd call it. But then they started parking in front of our house, and then would yell at us if we parked across the street because we were blocking their way. They painted the line on our in front of our house that we weren't allowed to pass.
uh-huh.
It just sort of started getting worse.
Oh wow.
In the winter, I used to have my little white Mercury, and they would shovel their sidewalk, and they would shovel the snow onto my car, and behind it, like a mountain, you couldn't see my car.
Mhm.
So they knew what they were doing, and it's just been the officers kept telling them, "Now don't do that," and then they would do it again. And
So you've been there a year before them,
uh-huh.
and what
And
prompted
we
you
had
to
we
get
had
that?
neighborhood barbecues. Everything. I mean, we had fun.
Mhm,
The kids were all safe. John and Janice put a nail-filled bar as a booby trap
mhm.
um, at the end of their driveway, which was a concern because the school bus stop is by our house.
You said
We would
that
have
they put a
cookouts every
booby
day.
trap, a booby trap.
Yeah, yeah, and the officers said they couldn't touch it because it was on their land. So we had to make sure anybody that came over had to know that and not go near it.
Oh, so the booby trap was
Yeah.
just in case somebody tried to touch the fence or go near the.
Well, it was at the end of the driveway, so I'm not sure what they were protecting. They keep their trash cans out there with a yellow police tape in between, so nobody will go on their driveway, and they do that around their lawn also, so nobody can step on their lawn. And if somebody is walking by on the sidewalk, they will yell at them to get off their sidewalk because it's theirs.
Now, what
So
prompted you to get that? Because you're on number four.
for
Number four.
yeah,
So, what was it that prompted you to get that first restraining order?
the first one. It was after Janice ran into my Tahoe. She got in. I don't know why it happened. The officer asked me, and I don't know. But she pulled out from behind and then swerved over and clipped the front of my Tahoe, ran
Mhm.
up on the grass, almost hit the stop sign, and then took off down the street. And it was caught on, well, two of my kids were outside and they saw it. But we have it on our security cam also.
Did it seem
And
intentional or did it seem like
I
accidental?
don't
Or
know. She ran and she knew she did it. She ran and they were never able to catch her. She came back a week later and her vehicle was completely fixed, and they said that no, they had not ever hit me.
but you had it.
But we had it on video, and we called the police right away, so that their insurance still had to pay for it.
Okay, so they did pay for it. Their insurance did pay.
Right. So
Yeah.
I figured, well, that's violence. So then we applied for the order of protection. That and the racist comments and the constant yelling and throwing things, and we had all that on there.
Wow, I don't know if I could do it. I mean, and I said that to them, to DeJohnne when she came on the show. I said, I don't know. I didn't been in situations where me and a neighbor didn't see eye to eye, and but it never was something like this. So I don't,
Yeah,
y'all, boy, I don't see how y'all do it.
it's very stressful. I've got 3 children that have panic attacks now. I get difficulty. It's not a full blown panic attack. I have struggle with my breathing because I do have some health problems. But we're just struggling with the problems. The year before, I had been sick with kidney stones, got infected, and sepsis. So
Oh,
it's been 2 years of very bad health, and it took all of our savings. So we're saving that up to move, but we haven't gotten there yet.
I
Because
understand.
I've been tired of it, and I'm scared that somebody's going to get hurt, because the officers said they won't do anything until somebody gets hurt,
And that's so
or
wrong.
dead.
That's so wrong.
It
Melissa
is.
said in the chat, somebody just said, and the police are still advising them to overlook them after they've had to process for restraining orders. What does that say about the police?
Well, and even with the first restraining order, when they would break the restraining order and start into us and throw the branches on our roof, and they put a spotlight into our dining room in the middle of the night. The officers had to come and tell them to knock it off. Mm-hmm. They have a camera pointed on our front steps. They listen to our conversations. They were told to stop it. It's still on. I forgot the point I was trying to make.
We were talking about the police not doing anything.
But even then, they would come and they'd say either, oh, it's not bad enough, or move, or just ignore them. They'll ignore you. No, as soon as you go around the corner, they're at it again. I told them just drive around the block. And so they keep saying that. And we did get the police a couple of times. They did fill out a report that they had broken the harassment thing. It was very clear. But then the detectives would say, oh, no, there's not enough evidence.
And see, that's the same thing that I was told from that family. And that's why I don't understand. Like, if everybody has different angles, different footage, different videos, why isn't the police like,
I don't know,
citations? And then as far as your restraining order, you live right next door. So what exactly is the restraining order? Because I know some of them be like, they got to stay so many feet away. They got like, what are the restrictions? Since you're neighbor,
they cannot threaten, harass, intimidate, block passage, to our vehicles or the sidewalk or anywhere. They cannot damage any property. And there's what else?
They leave us alone, no contact.
Oh, and then no contact. But, even after that, I had to call in late to work one day and call the police because John was out there with his shovel and with the snow and calling my name and going, yeah, come on out. And I was scared. I called the police so I could get escorted to my car.
Wow. Somebody asked, are you worried about the children in school, which will be opening?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because the same kids are going to be walking, down the street to get on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And not all the parents, walk their kids to the corner. They no longer have the booby trap. They did take that out. I don't know anything more about that. But even I got a call at work from my son. He said he heard a noise of something hitting our house. Janice had brought out a rifle and had shot at the house. Oh, just a minute. And so he called the police. They saw the holes, got the testimony. Janice had like 4 different stories on what it was. And one of the stories was she got mad at Michael and she shot the house. And
so he admitted to shooting
one was a cat. And it turns out it was a BB gun, so they dropped it.
So she admitted to shooting at your house because she was upset with your husband.
Yep. When she hit my van, she's hit vehicles twice. When she hit my van, she backed out of her driveway, put it in drive, and right into the rear end of my van. She got out and was giggling and laughing, and the police got there, and she goes, oh, yeah, I don't have a license, and I don't have insurance. Ha, 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 ha. She still got to drive the van and, moved it and parked it. They didn't confiscate it. The state of Nebraska they got involved and they took her to court because she didn't have insurance and fined her. But without insurance, they had to pay $200 out of the, I think, $415 bill to repair. And then for over a month, John and Janice were calling us extortionists because we got money for the damage to the van. Mm-hmm. The state of Nebraska took them in to court. Yes, I got the money because it was my van. It wasn't extortion.
Right. Basically, if you get hit, you're supposed to recoup for damages if your car gets hit by someone. That's naturally right. Somebody said, Harper Sean, she said, this story is very interesting and very sad at the same time. And I absolutely agree. It is very
We live in terror here.
it's very sad.
We always look out to see if they're there when we leave, and then we'll turn on our camera phone because at some point one of the officers said, just keep filming them for evidence, which we've been doing.
But if it's not working, it's not working. And okay, so if they're not allowing anybody to get charged, and that's whether, because again, I was told some of the same things from Dejanay about her family, how they feel threatened and they call the cops and nothing's ever done. So that's why I said the story is very, very interesting, because it seems like each party is making the same accusations against the other party.
And at the second order of harassment, they had, John and Janice had both taken off against the neighbor girl and my 16-year-old. Were very, very nasty, calling her, fat, white, so-and-sos and whores and sluts and all these things, which, you don't do that to somebody who's got emotional trauma already. Mm-hmm. And so I asked Christina if she wanted to call the police and make a report. She would have to talk to them. So they called, they arrested both of them. Mm-hmm. And they did kind of, at court, they came in and they did say they were guilty. So they did have to pay a fine, not to us. They paid a fine. Mm-hmm. And now they had a federal, guilty thing against them because of it. But John and Janice are yelling that we're liars and things, and we told them, and the cops are believing it. And mm-hmm. It's not a lie. It's on the recordings.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what we do, it doesn't work.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, from both parties, the same thing is said, that no matter what video, no matter how many complaints, nothing seems to work. So what is it that keeps...
One more thing. I'm sorry. One more thing with that night that I was telling you about. They took the two away. Mm-hmm. The daughter came flying up in her truck. She started threatening us. So I called the officers again and said, please come. She's threatening us. Mm-hmm. And they never showed up. She closed up the house, I'm assuming. She went inside and came back out and said that she turned the cameras on us. She was going to be watching us, among, other threats of, death and violence. And, what do we do?
And see, that's what I
didn't do this.
I wanted to know, like, every time, like, you're on your fourth restraining order or protection order, if they're not charging anybody and they're not using any of the camera footage that it seems like they have against other neighbors, you have against them, then what reason? I mean, why are they validating all these restraining orders? They just taking your word, or are they watching the video, or?
I don't know. We've given them so many videos that I'm out of videos to hand over. I've got to buy more flash drives. Mm-hmm. Right now, we've got another case already in there from the winter that they keep telling me in February. And the DA keeps going, oh, we're still thinking about it, or, oh, because of COVID, we haven't gotten to it. It's almost July. Mm-hmm. Is it being shoved under the carpet again? I don't know. But it was dangerous what they were doing. So, I don't know.
How do you feel about, because again, it seemed like none of the officers, it seemed like the courts, nobody's doing anything to try to actually force anybody to stop harassing or whatever on both sides. So how do you feel about when Mr. Coleman went to jail and then he was later released, and somebody mentioned in the chat, KB, who was on our show the other day, KB mentioned that an officer had helped get Dejanay's dad out of jail?
Well, I was in the house, so I missed all of the fight. Mm-hmm. So I was rather shocked. And then it wasn't until an hour later that I realized that he'd been arrested. You know, in all the conversation about the fighting, I didn't even realize it. My first thought, honestly, was, oh, good, now that he won't be able to yell at me now. And they said that Janice, they were doing a warrant for Janice because of her involvement, but it wouldn't go into place until July 1st. And I said, well, you know, hopefully everything will be okay until then. And then the next day or so, the daughter's telling everybody on Facebook her mother's afraid to come out. And then I had joy because, oh, good, I can go out and not get yelled at.
I feel you.
But she's still yelling, but you know, at least I had that instant of hope. Oh, I can go outside and not get yelled at. The night of the riot around here.
Yeah, tell me about the riot, because I didn't find out about the riot till later, you know, after.
Well, we found out. My husband's a truck driver. I had gone to pick him up. We did our shopping. We had lunch, and I mean, we got home I think around 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Okay, and we walked to the back of our Tahoe because they were parked in front of you know, our house, you know, as usual. And I backed into the parking spot in front, and I walked to the back of the Tahoe and opened up to get his suitcases. And Janice came running over, and don't you lean on my truck, don't you touch my stuff. And then she put her nose in the air and walked back to her house. No, we've got a camera footage of we're not even near her. She just came over and said that. We didn't say anything. Well, she didn't go. She went back to her yard.
Okay.
But then she's telling everybody, because I sort of looked around and went, what? And I looked, and she went back to the people that were already there and is pointing and telling them, you know, how bad we are. And so then they started yelling at us about we being white supremacist and racist and everything. It's like, hey guys, I just got home. You know, let me at least process. You know, I don't know what you're talking about here. But then the mom across the street, they got home. She got home from work. So then they all tore off after her. So we got in the house then.
So initially, the rioters were rioting you and your property. Then once the actual people that got in a fight with the older couple, once they got home, then they turned and started rioting their house.
Yeah.
Okay. That had to be loud. That had to be very scary, maybe, you know, for you.
I called the police. Yeah, I called the police. And then I found out that the daughter had been on Facebook and saying that her elderly disabled parents had been beat up. He's constantly climbing on ladders on our road to go up and trim branches off of the tree, which is 50, 60 feet in the air. He climbs his roof. 10, 20. We have film of him on our camera chasing a neighbor boy. He's not slowed down. You know, he's 10 years younger than I am. So, you know, I don't consider him elderly.
Mr. Coben. And, you know, that's my fault because I had assumed they were elderly just because the daughter, and I guess I underestimated her age and just I put some years on the couple. And so that's why I've been since then calling them older couple.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not old. I'm getting older. I am not old.
I'm old too. I feel older every single day.
There you go.
From my back.
Never let it in.
Yes. But yes, that had to be an experience. Have you ever
I'm going to say something real fast.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Hi.
With the one panic attack that I had, I was just literally about to go to my mom's house, and he started charging at me when my sister was next to me, and it literally, I couldn't, the whole ride up to where my mom lives, I could not breathe. It was to the point my sister had to jump in the back seat with me. Even then, I couldn't calm down. It was so bad that I couldn't. I stayed up there like a week and a half, and I was too scared to come back down. Because every time I do come down here, it's like threats on threats.
So you're saying you were leaving your grandma's house, like in a car or walking?
My mom has a truck, and I was leaving to go up to where she lives.
Because she was getting scared.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you was getting in the truck, and while you were going to the truck,
Yeah, he started charging at me, and it was scary.
And John likes to jump in front of a vehicle as it's moving and say, "Don't you hit me, you hit me," as he's beating on the hood. And then Janice will jump in front of the vehicle too, and then John will come running out. "Don't you hit my wife. Tell her to get off the street." You know,
ooh, this is
she
a
wasn't
lot.
in front of the car. That's sorry, the cat is in the window.
It's okay.
So it's something new all the time, but it's very regular that with the white racist cracker trailer trash,
Me and
lazy blankety blank, and
Now you said your
Uh,
husband is Indian, right?
yeah, American Indian and
And
Scottish.
so is John, though, right? No, so is
I
John's
have no idea. I don't know.
his wife Janice. She's Indian.
I don't know. John is not. Well, John isn't the daughter's real father,
Well,
I
see,
guess.
John, I
The
believe is
stepfather.
black, but I was told that Janice is Indian. I wonder, do they know each other are Indian? Like they're both Indian. Like,
I don't know. He doesn't like anybody. He doesn't like the people on one set of the people on the corner that he chased out were black. So he just hates everybody here.
somebody said if they surprised the juvenile system hasn't stepped in, one of the police officers who was there said they were being contacted. Everyone be careful, think about the kids.
Definitely. I'd be very happy if they contacted them because we have medication and treatment for my one granddaughter because of the stress and some other issues. I would welcome them to come. John, one day when Christina was getting on the special ed bus that comes to pick her up, John had started in on her as usual, calling her names, and she got on the bus, and he followed her, and he called all the kids on the bus nasty names and flipped them all off. What if he would have had his weapons then? The bus driver refused to say anything because he didn't want to make trouble. These kids were in danger.
Now, Audrey in the chat said they are currently taking pictures now.
Who is?
She didn't say who. She just said they are currently taking pictures now.
Oh, they're taking pictures of the girl across the street.
But they're moving.
My son
right?
looked at. Yes, they're pretty much moved out, but not all the way. We didn't have anywhere to go like they do.
So
yes, they're
the
standing in their driveway and taking.
The Colemans are in their driveway right now, taking pictures of the young couple across the street that they got in a fight with.
They're taking down their stuff.
And now they're taking down some decorations off the fence. So, they were taking pictures of them. They we don't allow any visitors here, family, friends, nothing, because they will take pictures. And we called the police because some of them were babies and infants. And I don't know what they're doing with the pictures. I don't know if they're sending it to pedophiles, to who knows what's on the internet. They've been asked to stop and asked to stop. The officer said it's not illegal to take pictures of babies in our yard.
Yeah, and it's not illegal to take pictures if it's out in the public.
Right.
But
so
do you feel sometimes that you're being stalked sometimes?
Oh, they know my schedule better than I do. They would be waiting on the front steps for me when I got home from work and when I would get up and go to work. Not every day, but it tended to go in waves of a couple weeks every day, and then it would stop for a while. But then they'd be back again. They know my schedule better than I do.
I have never. I have never
the
heard.
The only way they know is to keep watching. And if I do manage to come home at a different time, then I'm assuming on their camera they see me drive up and they come flying out.
Somebody said this
So
situation sounds miserable. It does sound miserable. And
it
I
is.
know nobody wants to move. Like the Coleman,
I'd be very willing to move. I'd be very willing to move. We got to get the money for it first.
man. Ooh,
But hold on.
I've been trying to do some things for some change to get out that situation. I ain't even gonna lie. I mean, and again, I'm trying not to be biased, so I'm not taking sides. I'm just
Right.
equally listening to all parties, and it's all so crazy. I'm
I
sorry.
think we do
That
have some
might not be the right
recordings.
word to use.
We do have some recordings of some of the language.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you do?
Yeah. Hold on.
I
Well-
have in my camera roll right now 30 whole videos of harassment, and one of them is with me and my friend Chantel. Her calling us trailer trash and all this. It was just like a constant word. And I even was like, is that the only word she knows? Because that literally
Oops.
the whole time I was recording, it was just trailer trash, trailer trash, trailer trash.
And slut and whore and
that too.
I'm just thinking, do you think there's any
I'm
way?
trying to get to the recording. We
Okay.
find that album.
Do you think
My
any
phone
way,
wins.
Do you think there's any way at all this could ever be like? What if you guys had like somebody in the middle, somebody to like, have a little meeting and have somebody talking to both of you guys and try to figure out if there's any kind of way that, even if it's just don't look at me, don't say nothing to me, don't, do you think anything like that could be possible? Because I know
I don't know that they would agree. I would agree as long as the police were there, because otherwise I'd be too scared, and it'd have to be somewhere else, not here.
Mhm.
In a safe place.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can get one of these to play.
Oh, I turned the volume down.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yep.
Gail said prayers to the whole situation.
Here you go.
Can you hear that?
No, not really.
Okay.
Here, let me find a better one. Stop, let me find a better one.
Okay.
I think-
Wait.
Yeah, she'll be
Okay.
working on that.
Okay.
No, that's not it.
So you think moving would be the only resolution?
Yes, because they are not willing. He is always since they moved in. He said that he's a black belt in karate and he can beat our whats, and that he's got his machete and they've got their BB rifle, and he's always threatening to hurt my husband, who's 6'6" and 280 pounds. I don't know why he keeps threatening him, but if my husband comes out of the house, then John will run into his truck and leave. And my husband finally had said, okay, fine, I'll come out. You want me to fight you? Okay, I'll come out. He came out and John ran. I don't know why he's doing it. He keeps threatening and all this other stuff, and then he runs. And my son, he's threatened him. He said, how old are you, Michael?
36.
He's 36 now. For the last couple of years, they've been insisting that he's in love with Janice and chasing her and stalking her. And no.
And Michael's is that your husband?
No, my son.
Your son. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I called him husband earlier. You had mentioned him, and I don't know. I just automatically thought Michael.
Yeah. My husband's Jim.
Okay.
But
it's just so sad how the police don't seem to be more involved.
Yeah, and even if he'll walk by and he'll be saying, threatening things, dragging the machete and throwing sparks, and the officers will say, "Oh well, he's just."
And you have this stuff on camera of him.
Some of it, yeah. We've got after my van kept getting damaged, we finally, and things were getting in our yard, we got some security cameras.
And do you have them all around the house or just like the front?
We have them for the backyard. So we got pictures of him emptying his pool into our yard onto my garden, mowing my flowers. They've got a red string that we're not allowed to cross back there. They say it's their property, but I don't know. But they will take their mower and lift it up and chop up our flowers. Just weird stuff. We would catch video of the raccoons, going around. So they would say that we crawled over and damaged their garden. And we're like, there's a raccoon. No, it's you guys. And then he'll throw all the stuff in our yard.
Security camera clearly shows me sitting on my butt in front of the house.
Yeah. And we have two in the front. One is more out down the line of their driveway because that's where they tend to be when they're yelling and stuff. The other one is directed on our two vehicles in the front. The one on the kitchen door will show a vehicle when it's parked across the street, which is closer to their driveway.
Okay.
And now we have the one camera is showing their back door because she came out was throwing branches from her back door. Okay, here.
Yep, here.
Okay, hold on. Okay, if you listen.
Hold on, you gotta go back.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Yeah, you laughing now. What you laughing at? What's funny is y'all ain't got no air conditioning in your house. That's what's funny. What's funny is you can't pay for your dog. That's why he's sitting in the house in the heat. Yeah, that's why the dog.
Can you hear that? They have different themes. Like this one is
that was me laughing.
That was we apparently didn't have air conditioning, and that's why we left the dog in the house. When we got rid of some chairs, then we were broke so-and-so people and needed new chairs. No, I didn't. I got rid of old chairs. So it's different themes. If it's a matter of parking the car, then they yell about the car for a couple weeks.
You are so welcome, Melinda. She said, thank you, Tanya, for talking to both sides. I'm always talking to hearing two sides of a story. Whenever we do an interview and somebody's making accusations, we didn't have people come on here and make accusations against pastors. And I get them the opportunity to come on if they want to defend themselves. So, yeah, it's three sides. You know how it goes. Three sides to every story. So, but this is, wow. I think it just came... I think
what's frightening is that they're getting on the internet and telling falsehoods are not completely the truth. They're collecting money. They're collecting people to come here, and they're threatening to burn down our house and to shoot everybody up. I was in the house. I wasn't here for that riot. I don't know why, or for that fight. But it has spread to include us because of, their dislike of us.
Right. And I know a lot of people in the chat is like, saying prayers to you guys, like prayers to the whole situation.
Appreciate that.
This situation, I don't know what to say about our police department. And it's been a lot of things said lately about our police department, but the fact that this can go on like this, and regardless who files a complaint against who, nothing is just never done, and every party is like, just ignore them, just ignore them, just ignore them until somebody gets hurt. Like when it happened last Monday, that's basically what it took. It took people laying hands on each other. Then the police want to come and haul somebody off to jail.
Well, and I do need for a long time. It hasn't happened in a while. Hopefully, it doesn't start again. John would come home from work about 3 a.m. He'd call the police and say that we were all fighting over here, and the police would show up. We're all asleep. That Michael was out there talking. Somebody ran over one of his signs. The wind blew it down. I went and checked the cameras. Always at 3 a.m. And I finally told the officers, please don't come at 3 a.m. They came one day and said, at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. and said, do you have a son, Michael? And I said, well, yeah, he's working. And I started crying. I said, is he okay? What happened? Is he okay? And they said, oh, no, nothing like that. The Coleman said that he knocked down their sign. At 3 a.m?
And your son was at work?
He was at work. He's a security guard. He was at work. don't you scare me like that. You know how heartbreaking and scary that was?
Mm-mm.
That
Yeah.
was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I, it seems like new
Yeah,
things
I would
keep coming
immediately.
up on what's,
I would immediately.
it needs to quit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when they start yelling, a lot of times, we tried that answer, it gets worse. Now I say, I don't talk to you, you don't talk to me, and I go to the house of the vehicle.
Yes, and it would seem like that should be so easy to do if nobody wants to. If you have certain type of feelings towards somebody, just I just don't understand.
It would be very
leave
easy
each
for
other
me to ignore
alone.
them.
Just ignore, like pretend
Yeah.
like the house isn't even over there.
Well, and they do get mad because when I go out to my vehicle, we're on a street, and I always look to the left, which is towards their house. As I'm at the top of the steps, I look to the left, see if there's any vehicles, and the right. And then I get down on the street, and then I look around the vehicles again to the left to see, and they say that I'm spying on them. No. That's the only time I look over there unless they make a noise.
Yeah. Well, I hate to be the one to tell somebody to move, but I have been in a situation where me and a neighbor had the same landlord, and they told us basically if one more incident happened, we both getting evicted. So it was like I knew another
Well,
incident
the officer came one night.
but
One night, an officer came that had been there many times, and after, I don't remember what's the lights or what, and he goes, "That's it. I'm going to take all of you to jail." Well, okay, if that's what it takes to get them to stop, okay.
Right.
But
yeah, that's what they told us. The police told us if they got to come back again. That's why I don't get it. Like the police were called out against me and somebody else who started trouble with me. And I had witnesses and everything. I don't mess with people unless they mess with me. And I had witnesses and everything, but the police said if we come back out again, y'all both going to jail. And this was one incident, and we didn't even put hands on each other. It was just cursing and stuff. And then the landlord even said both of y'all get evicted I was like, I hurried up and told my boyfriend find me a place because we got to go. So
I'm a medical assistant, and it is not in my nature to be violent. I don't cuss. I don't drink, do drugs. Very boring person. Hopefully, I am a nice person. That's a big complaint. I'm too nice. Is one of the few complaints I get about myself.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how that turns into I'm abusing the neighbors.
Yeah. And I know somebody mentioned that right now is like a really all-time high for a lot of, with the Black Lives Matter and, Black people and white people and just things going on right now. It's like at an all-time high right now for issues. So I don't know if this can be thrown.
Well, and the daughter,
the
daughter got on Facebook and threatened the mayor and the police that they would start trouble with the Black Lives Matters. This wasn't a Black Lives Matter issue. It's
Black Lives Matter. It is a whole totally different thing. It has to do with murders. And
I can't even say some of these. I can't say these words that John and Janice are saying because I can't. I was raised a Methodist. I cannot do that. I cannot. I get and it. I'm at a loss. I have not been mean. I don't know what to do.
Well, let me ask you another question. Somebody has a question in the chat. Melissa said, not to bring race into an already sensitive subject, but what is the ethnicity of the two officers that are always coming out to investigate?
Well, it's a variety. It'll be white and black. No other obvious, Chinese or anything.
Okay.
Come out. We've had a white and Hispanic.
Oh, white and Hispanic once.
I think once we had two black cops come out.
Yeah, sometimes it's two black, two white, a black and a white, Hispanic and a white. It mixes.
Okay, I was just wondering. I was wondering too because I know you had said sometimes it's different ones, but I think when I was on the first interview, I think she said sometimes it's always the same ones, and they come out and they be like, "Oh, nonchalant, like, oh, we out here again, y'all complaining again, just ignore it." You know, she did tell me, but even if it's different cops, we still getting the same reaction, which is ignore,
Right. Well,
ignore.
If it's their first time, then they're very angry about it. The officers, and I just say go talk to the regular guys. They'll know what's going on. They can explain it to you. And but the ones that are regularly here, like usually it's the two white guys. But and then I think the white and Hispanic are the second runner up. But you know, they're saying, oh, we're very sympathetic, we understand, you know, that, but just ignore them. Well, we did. Look, this is what happened.
Yeah. And KB,
and then Janice will tell the officers, oh, we won't talk to them if they don't talk to us. And great. Go around the corner and wait. They'll be out in 5 seconds.
Yeah, and KB said he was arrested, which we know he was arrested. I think he was in there for a few days, but KB said because of the protests and the threats to cause drama in the city, they released John to avoid backlash from the community.
Right.
As she made it seem like it was a hate crime.
Right.
And see, I was under the impression that he was released because they found him, and they said they dropped all the charges. But KB, she believes that he was probably released because they were threatened to charge hate crimes or sue the city. And I know the neighbors across the street said they was going to try to sue the police too for not doing anything over the past years. Have you ever thought about going that route, like going above the police?
I have tried talking to sergeants and to the lieutenants and everything, and I've got no satisfaction from that. They'll say, well, the officer said, or there wasn't enough evidence, or yeah, we saw the video where he came out of his house and walked over to your van and damaged it, but he was wearing a hoodie, so we can't say it was him. Or we saw him come down the steps, you know, in the summertime and grab the cat and drop kick it across the street, but that's not enough evidence because I don't know why on that one.
Was you exaggerating?
No, I wasn't.
What?
No, I've got enough film.
Hold up. He attacked the cat?
Yeah, a stray cat belonged to the neighbor down. Kitten belonged to a neighbor down the street. Had gotten out, and he's going, you know, here, kitty, 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 and it comes up to him. He grabs it and drop kicks it to the street, and he's up by his steps. So my son and my youngest granddaughter, they were out and saw it. So they called the Humane Society and the police. They all filed, you know, things that he, you know, had done that and everything, but it was dropped for lack of evidence. And it was on the security film.
And
it showed him.
He didn't even get involved?
He didn't get a thing.
Wow.
And he's still threatening our animals.
And you got this on film?
Yeah. All of this is on film, except for the way in the beginning, because we didn't have the cameras yet. All of it's on film. It's like the one of the fight. We do have video of it, but the sun was just at the right spot with the glare. So it's a little hard to see, but otherwise we got everything.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I got,
still got let loose.
Somebody sent me 3 video footage. I know one of the videos, I know in the initial interview, it was said that he was arrested because he had some kind of meat hook.
Apparently he works at Omaha Steaks and they use meat hooks.
Omaha Steaks. Right. Did you witness any meat hooks?
I saw the pictures.
Because I saw the video and I know my eyes be deceiving me sometime. I'm getting old.
No.
But
no, it was meat hooks. I was raised on a farm. It's meat hooks.
Something in his hand that looked like they were sharp. I don't know what they were. But somebody did send me a really good video.
Usually with the kind Usually that kind of hook is used for hay, but they use it for meat.
For me to like
And
pick
I would like
up
to point
meat.
out, one of the people who helped them was a lieutenant.
Okay.
And I don't want to be racist, but she was a black lieutenant, and I think that's how also he got out. And
Well,
there's someone else involved.
And I don't know the cop or anything, but I do believe that she is black. I don't know. I just seen some Facebook posts.
Right.
Facebook posts that a cop, they were some shout outs to a cop, thanking them for interceding or whatnot. Somebody also said Melissa. She said I bet if you get hold of the ASPCA, something will happen because they don't play. She said, ask Michael Vick.
Oh, true. Yeah, but see, we're not ball players. But like I said, I've tried going higher up. I've talked to the mayor, and they said it's not their responsibility. We have talked to the police.
There's two police officers that they personally quote thanking. One is a lieutenant, and the other is a deputy chief.
One we know the lieutenant.
So it's friends in high places. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, I heard him. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we've tried
it just
going
seems like
higher
y'all
up.
have so much. It seems like y'all have so much evidence. I don't know what I really, I think if nobody's helping you out, I don't know. I know the other family said they're going to get attorneys. I know the family across the street that they're going to try to do something to the police department. I don't know what needs to be done, but it definitely seems like something should have been done a very long time ago. Like for a neighbor to be on their fourth restraining order.
One of the restraining orders, by the way, was thrown out, except for Christina, because she's a minor, because we followed exactly everything that the order protection people said to do on the forms.
Mm-hmm.
So we get in front of the judge, and she says, "Oh, you filled it out all wrong. I throw all this out." And then she asked the Colemans to explain what had happened, which they said their version. And she looks at me and said, "Well, what do you say?" And I said, "Well, this is what happened." She goes, "No, that's not relevant. You can't talk about that." Or, "No, that's not current." Or, "No, you can't talk about that." I was not allowed to testify. And the order of protection was thrown out except for Christina.
Oh, wow.
We filled it out right because they checked it before we left it. There at the courthouse.
Right.
The daughter was there talking to the judge. I don't know what they tell to the judge, but the judge says I was extremely racist, obviously, and very mean. And I was crying. I said, "You can't leave me out here with no protection."
KB
and John, he was just fine beforehand, and when he gets to court, he's got braces on his hand, and he's disabled all of a sudden. On our security, you see him coming home from court, dancing a jig with the things in his hand. Quit lying. He's obviously not that disabled.
Yeah, I know. I think she said he was disabled on his left side or something, and her mom has a slight disability as well. I know somebody did say they were running around fighting like ain't nothing wrong.
Well, yeah.
I was
climbs roofs and the ladders and
I'm thinking this deserves to be on World Star. I was looking at the fight like, God dang, they really
what's that? Jerry Springer.
Something. Like somebody said earlier in the chat, this reminds them of the TV show Love Thy Neighbor by Tyler Perry. But I was gonna tell.
I'm willing to admit I do have some like mental issues, but
depression,
anger issues and all that. But it's not like I will use it to get out of stuff. Like I have a disability, yes, but it's if there has something happened, like I will take blame for it. But how they're doing it, they're making it like, oh yeah, we're so disabled, we're so that, and it's like, you gotta let me go, or this is gonna do that, and it's like, This is not the no.
It's confusing.
Well, I definitely think it has got way, way out of hand. Like way out of hand.
Yeah.
There's people in the chat who are just like me who just can't believe that.
I wish there was something that could solve it. I do, besides somebody getting hurt
Mhm.
or dying. But I don't
Yeah, because
know.
you don't want that. You don't want nobody like
No.
first it was a fight. Who knows what'll happen next if it keeps going on,
Now
regardless.
he's got more weapons now. Now he has his pocket. Well, before he just had the machete, the nunchucks, and his BB gun, and he says he's a black belt. But now he's got those meat hooks, and he's injured people with that and the pocket knife. So now he's got more. I don't know what else he might have in there.
If they can get a check.
And I was walking over to my friend's house, Chantel, and he left the door open, and there was literally a machete case on like the door, and you
Now,
could visibly see it.
A machete is a big.
Yeah.
It's a huge knife. My uncle has one, but
And-
I know what a machete case looks like.
And
That
y'all
was a
have
straight,
him
either a
on
machete or
camera.
a knife case.
I'm sorry.
Y'all have him on camera walking around
yeah,
with a
yeah.
machete, just walking around with a machete.
Yeah, and spinning it around, dragging it on the cement, and threatening. He was just playing with it yesterday, I think it was, out on his front.
That was either a machete case or a knife case, and there
Well, it
was
was a
definitely
machete
something
case.
in it.
It's like a Hispanic machete
There was
case.
definitely something
Thank you,
in it.
Miss Sislo. I want to thank Miss Sislo real
No.
quick for joining the Hood Table member squad. Thank you. The link is in the chat for anybody else who wants to join the Hood Table member squad. Thank you so much. A machete.
Yeah,
It's a very
yeah. And the police don't take it away. He threatened, what was it? The Hispanic family, I think, with it.
I kind of
And
wonder.
they let him keep it.
I kind of wonder, regardless of y'all race, Indian,
Mhm.
white, black, Native American, I kind of wonder if y'all was out on like 144th or 180th Street, would this have been an ongoing situation for 4 years?
I don't know. I would hope not.
I don't think
But I
so.
don't know.
I've
I've lost faith.
I
I've
highly
lost
doubt,
faith.
and I wonder if that has something to do with it because y'all like in the hood. You know what I mean? Like y'all in North
But
Omaha.
I'm not a hood.
I mean,
Yeah. I
I
don't know.
I don't think it would be like that. I really don't. Somebody would have got carried off to jail. I really do believe that. I really do believe somebody would have got cited.
He got carried off to jail and they let him loose.
And it's somebody said this is just crazy. I work in a behavior school. That's why it bothers me. These kids are mentally getting confused.
Yeah. And they're learning that the police won't do anything. That's not right.
It's not right. And
They need to know that they have a protection.
Melissa said it's stories like these that make her hesitant to buy a home, and that's why she's in an apartment, because if you don't get along with your neighbor, you can easily move. Not so as much as if you have a mortgage or anything like that. Well,
My husband wants to move to Canada.
Oh, and Canadians are a little bit nicer than us Americans, aren't they?
I've never been there, so I wouldn't mind it.
I haven't either, but I would love to go one day and meet Drake in person. I would love to go to Canada.
Ah, there you go, Drake. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes. That's
I
where
agree.
Mhm.
Some good songs.
Yes, he does. He's amazing. He's amazing. I really want to thank you for coming on our show today, Nancy. I know it
You're
wasn't
welcome.
easy. But as I said before, anytime somebody comes on my show and makes accusations, always leave the floor open if somebody wants to come on and tell their side of the story. And I'm glad that you did that, because it's so many angles to this stuff, and it's so interesting. But like somebody said, it's very interesting, but it's very sad at the same time on all levels that nothing can be done as far as law enforcement. And so when you have law enforcement not wanting to protect you, and it seems like they're supposed to, at least, harassment, bullying, some of these things have to come into play, what's going on. So I just hope that everything works out for you guys. I know you've been sick. I know your husband been sick, and you guys can't move right away. I don't know. Maybe
I don't want anybody shot, and I don't want my house to burn down.
I don't want it either. I don't want anything to happen to you, them, the people across the street, nobody. Nobody. Yeah. So yeah, I really, really don't. And I wish that it could be resolved over having a cup of tea and some crackers or something. I mean, but I know it's beyond that. I know it is,
yeah.
It's way past that. So the only thing I can suggest is I don't
Deep
know.
breath.
I'm here like, wow. I'm again.
Take a deep breath and go back in the house.
Yes. Try to keep your distance and remain calm and just until you guys can get up out of there. Right. But who knows? Maybe
by worrying that if somebody else moves,
maybe somebody else
they're in trouble too.
Oh, and see, that's what I wonder. Like, because of the fact that they are into it with so many different neighbors, would it be different if it was another family there? Or
no, because new people have moved in.
Oh, that's right. Because you did tell me.
And then they're mad at them. Yeah.
Yeah, you did tell me other neighbors have moved because of them.
Yep. And the people move in and they don't treat them very well either.
Now, the people who move, I'm gonna just ask you this last question. The people who move, were they calling the cops as well and making complaints?
The Hispanic family, I knew they had called a couple times. One was because John was threatening with a machete.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had shot at the kids with a BB gun. The elderly lady across the street, the family just decided it wasn't safe. Because they had been shooting bottle rockets and throwing things on her porch and yelling at her a lot. She was getting scared. The one directly across from us,
Somebody said this sounds like
chasing John. We have video of him chasing this kid around the house, trying to catch him and throwing their garbage all over because he couldn't catch him. They moved him out for his own safety, and then the rest of the family followed.
Oh, wow. Somebody said continue to keep a paper trail, continue to videotape. This is so very sad. Somebody said this sounds like a movie.
Yeah, nobody'd believe it, though.
It sounds like that one movie. Who was in that movie? Was it Samuel L. Jackson when he was dealing with the neighbors? Or I think he was the crazy neighbor, wasn't he? I can't remember the name of the movie, but
I don't know.
Oh my God, that movie was wow! It was lit. It was lit. But this does sound like a movie. I mean, maybe y'all should reach out to some
Steven Spielberg, yeah,
or reach out to one of those big major talk shows. You never know. This is wow. This is a lot. I didn't expect to learn all this from the initial Lakeview. That's it, Ms. Hall. Lakeview with Samuel L. Jackson. Thank you.
Oh, I'll have to look at it.
If y'all ain't seen that movie, I'm telling y'all, you got to watch that movie. Y'all gonna be like, oh, this is our life. This.
Oh no,
really?
It might scare me too bad.
Oh, it's a good movie though. It's really good. Okay. But yeah, somebody just said that, and I just thought that I should highlight their comment. But yeah, somebody said keep a paper trail. Just keep recording, and as soon as y'all can. But who knows? Somebody else might move, and you might not have to move. But I would set up me a GoFundMe. I'd be doing something to get some change.
I don't know how to do that. I am not computer literate.
Oh, well, that granddaughter next to you, them kids know how to do everything. Shoot.
Computers is my job.
Well, Nancy, thank you again for coming on to our show tonight.
You're welcome.
And we have another show next talking about deadbeat daddies who don't want to pay child support. So if you want to tune in, feel free.
Fun. Okay.
But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Everybody, make sure you like and share the video and also subscribe to the Hood Table if you're not already subscribed. Everybody, thank Nancy for coming on and speaking to us, because again, it's not an easy thing to do, to come onto a show and speak about a situation on this level. So somebody said praying for you. They're gonna keep praying for you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
We need all the help we can get.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And have a good night, Nancy. Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
No problem. You're very welcome. Okay, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in. I'm going to drop the link one more again. I want to give a shout out to all the new Hood Nation members who have joined in the Hood Table Squad. I dropped the link in one more time. The Hood Table has been approved by YouTube to have a membership program, because we have been doing so well and giving out great content. So I am so happy. I'm so excited that we now have a membership program through YouTube. So if you want to become a member of the Hood Table Squad, Hood Nation, Hood Gang, make sure you click that link, or you can just hit the join button next to the subscribe button. It's 2 levels, and basically the membership for YouTubers is basically a support program. If you really enjoy your content creator and you want to show them some love, show them a gift, donate to their channel, that's all it is. It's a monthly fee. YouTube takes it out. Its first level is $1.99, only $1.99 a month, and level 2 is $4.99 per month. And when you do sign up, it tells you the perks that you get. Also, our merch, somebody locally is working on merch, so we're going to be having t-shirts, we're going to have water bottles, we're going to have coffee mugs with our logo on it, and every month the person who makes us some merch, I'm going to, for the people who are members of level 2, the $4.99 squad, I'm gonna be giving out free gifts to everybody just to show some appreciation. So, send out some t-shirts, send out a mug, something like that. Just show some appreciation. And we'll be doing other things as well. And also with that $4.99, you also get private live videos with me, private chats with me, Q&A sessions. I know some of y'all be wondering some things about me personally. So you you get a little bit closer look into my life. Not all the way down to my skeletons, but a little bit closer, knowledge of me, Tanya, from the Hood Table Squad. So again, like, share, and subscribe, please, and thank you. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. And again, thank you to all the new members. Melissa in the chat, Miss Sislo in the chat, Miss Hogg in the chat. Who else was in here earlier? Who else was in here? I missed somebody. Was Melissa? Okay, Melissa King. And I'm trying to scroll all the way back up so I can. Harper Sean. And there's some other people who signed up today. Deborah's on the level 2. So thank you to everybody, whether you're level 1 or level 2, I appreciate it. And even if you just subscribe and watch the videos, that is welcome and appreciated as well. I appreciate everybody's support. Now, we ran over time. We were supposed to have our other show at 8 p.m. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run to the bathroom. I'm going to refill my Kool-Aid, my Lele, and come back. So we should be back live in about 15 minutes, and we're going to talk about women who have been dealing with child support issues. The name of the show is actually part 2. Would you forgive your child's other father's large child support rears debt? Would you forgive would you allow child support to wipe their slate clean, even if they've never done anything for your child and you have to bust your butt all through your child's life to take care of them? So that's what the show is going to be about. Part 2 starts in 15 minutes. So if y'all want to come back, I will be back in about 15 minutes. On that note, thank you, Gail. Nancy said you're American hero. Thanks for speaking out against those ministers. Oh, that's KB. That's KB. Congratulations, Tanya, on membership program. Thank you. I woke up one day and I had an email in the mail said, I'm eligible for the membership program. I was like, what? Do you know that's like one of the biggest steps as a YouTuber is to have a membership program? I was like, what? Okay, hey. Shoot, I was like, hey, get it, Tanya. Get it, Tanya. The Hood Table, Hood Nation, the Hood Squad. Hood Squad. Okay, let me quit playing so I can get on to the next show. So, all right. Like, share, subscribe. And if you want to become a member, hit the join buttons to become a member. And I'll be back in 15 minutes. And I'm going to have some people on the screen, on the show, joining us. One of them is Miss Sislo, one of my moderators and members. So we'll be back in 15 minutes. All right. Deuces. Good night. Enjoy your night, Miss Hall. Love you, boo.